For some people, it is completely self-evident. For others, an absolute no-go. When it comes to the question of whether a dog may sleep in the bed, opinions collide like on hardly any other everyday topic. Some people only feel complete once the warm dog head is resting on their legs at night. Others would never want dirty paws, hairy fur, and drool to soil their own bed. That the views differ so widely is no surprise, because many myths, half-truths, and unchecked assumptions circulate. Is a dog in the bed a hygienic risk? Or might it even strengthen our health? Does closeness harm training? Or is that very closeness the basis of a stable bond? And does a dog even gain a psychological advantage from it? Or is it all the same to him? So much up front. Yes, there are clear answers. And the overall picture is far more clear-cut than many believe. There are not only hardly any real risks, but in the great majority of cases, predominantly large benefits for human and dog. Most dog owners agree, dogs are not roommates. They are family members. They accompany us for years, are witnesses of our brightest and our darkest moments. They give comfort when we fall, and joy when we get back up. The bedroom door is therefore not a technical boundary for many, but an emotional one. It decides whether closeness is shared or denied. And that is exactly what makes the question so polarizing. While one owner cannot imagine making their dog sleep elsewhere at night, the other worries about hygiene, allergies, or that the dog will disturb the night's rest by turning, snoring, or getting up and wandering around. Even among experts, there is no unified line. The result? Many decide from gut feeling, uncertainty, or fear, without knowing what real consequences closeness or exclusion actually have for a dog. Because for us, the bed is primarily a place of rest. For dogs, however, shared night rest is much more. It touches their social behavior, their sense of safety, their bond experience. Before we judge whether a dog should sleep in bed, we must understand what this bed means to him, or rather, what it means if he is not allowed to be there. For us humans, the bed is a place of rest. For dogs, it is additionally a social place, a space where closeness is lived. Dogs are natural co-sleepers. In family groups, in packs, with mother dogs and puppies, rest happens together. Closeness during sleep means safety, bonding, and protection. The decisive part. A dog does not decide rationally. He does not know, my human just wants to sleep better, or hygiene matters to them. He perceives, may I access my social reference? Yes or no? Your bed smells like you. It is warm. It is the core of your nest. When your dog lies there beside you, he signals on the deepest level. I want to be here, with you, with safety and belonging. And that is exactly why it is not neutral if he sits night after night in front of a closed door. For a dog, there is usually only you in his life. His social focus is monodirectional. Humans have partners, friends, parents, colleagues. The dog, in most cases, has only this one bonding window, you. If precisely this window remains permanently closed at night, it can trigger something that owners often misinterpret. Not annoying behavior, but real irritation. So the question is not only, does the dog simply sleep elsewhere? But, what happens inside the dog when he is not allowed? Dogs rarely show stress subtly. They bark, whine, scratch, pace back and forth. Many owners respond to this with training, instead of recognizing why the behavior arises. A dog cannot understand the reason for the exclusion. He does not know. This is hygienically sensible, or my human needs deep sleep. All he registers is closeness, denied. and that has consequences. Excluding a dog at night can produce frustration that discharges during the day. Calmly staying alone becomes harder, tension rises, bonding pressure increases. Some dogs develop control behavior, aggression from frustration, or uncleanliness from stress. None of this are character flaws. They are reactions to social insecurity. Particularly tricky, humans often misinterpret the symptoms. He is dominant. He is testing limits. He provokes. In truth, many dogs are merely reacting to a feeling of rejection or loss of control over closeness. And now the crucial counter-question. If exclusion is perceived so deeply, what positive effect does shared sleep have in return? How strongly can a ritual like night beside you stabilize bonding, trust, and behavior? And for whom might it even be the missing key in the overall system? That leads directly to the next step. What closeness in sleep does to your bond, and why this effect is underestimated. Dogs are social mammals whose nervous system is built for closeness. In groups, they do not sleep side by accident. They do it because closeness means safety. Warmth, breathing, heartbeat, body contact lower stress hormones and increase oxytocin, in both directions. And this exact mechanism also operates between human and dog. When your dog sleeps with you, two things happen at once. He feels safe and he experiences belonging. It is not a luxury, it is a bonding ritual. Many owners report, without knowing the causal link, that since co-sleeping began, their dog is more relaxed during the day, less controlling, better at staying alone, more cooperative in training, overall softer and more trusting in communication. That is no coincidence. Bond is not built in the active moments where we demand something, but in the passive, vulnerable moments in which we do nothing but be safe. So why do so many still doubt? Because another topic is constantly used as a counter-argument: health. Parasites, bacteria, allergies, sleep quality. All this makes many people think, despite bond signals, it is probably dangerous. But is that true? We will clarify that now. The typical concerns are always the same. Dogs bring in parasites, trigger allergies, or disturb sleep. Sounds logical, but what of that is realistic? Parasites. A well-cared-for indoor dog has a very low parasite risk. Instead of preventive chemicals, you can work safely and gently with regular fecal exams, worm tests, and seasonal tick control. Free-roaming dogs simply require different hygiene routines, but not a general bed ban. Allergies studies show children who grow up with pets develop allergies less often. With existing allergies or asthma, caution is of course individually necessary, but that is not a blanket counter-argument. It is a case-by-case decision. Sleep disturbances. Many people assume that a dog will disturb sleep and experience the opposite. Because warmth, rhythm, and closeness calm, many owners fall asleep and stay asleep more easily. Especially the deep in and exhaling acts, like a biological calming anchor. Bottom line, in most households, co-sleeping is not only harmless, it can even have positive health effects, psychologically and physiologically. That leaves one last big question. If closeness in bed has so many advantages, how do you ensure that it actually works harmoniously, without chaos, conflict, or disruption? If you decide to let your dog sleep in your bed, the quality of the nights depends less on luck and more on rituals and structure. Predictable routine. Dogs relax when patterns are stable. Fixed time, clear signal, always the same lead-in, and they settle down much more calmly. Hygiene without extremes. Regular coat care, paw check before bedtime for outdoor dogs, worm test instead of constant deworming, tick control in season. Done. No one needs lab-level hygiene in the bedroom. Define zones. Not everyone wants 30 kilograms on their chest. A dedicated blanket, a pillow segment, or an assigned spot on the bed creates closeness without intrusion. Gold for light sleepers. Observe bond consciously. Many owners only notice in hindsight how strongly their dog changed. Less tension, easier alone time, more softness in conflict, better cooperation in training. These changes do not happen through sleeping, but through the emotional signal behind the sleeping. You belong. This is your safe place. The bed is not a piece of furniture to dogs. It is a social place. A place that either allows closeness or withholds it. And because dogs do not experience bonding through words, but through rituals, it is precisely the nightly rest that has such a large influence on their emotional system. The data shows risks are controllable in most households, advantages, psychological and social, are significant. Exclusion is often experienced as rejection, not as a rule. The few real exceptions confirm the rule. In cases of resource guarding, massive separation anxiety in training, or medical special cases, temporary exclusion can be sensible. But even then, the solution is training, not contact ban. In the vast majority of cases, the bed is not a problem. It is a bond amplifier. And once you have witnessed how a dog falls asleep next to you in complete surrender and trust, you will hardly still debate whether it is allowed. You will understand why it explains canine behavior at its deepest level. And if you now want to know how dogs perceive the world compared to us humans, then click on the displayed image to watch my video on this topic.